All right, everybody, welcome to another Raleigh Young Professionals member spotlight video. I am super excited to talk about digital storytelling. This is a big one, and I'm really excited to talk about it with you, Miss Angela Hollowell. Welcome to the member spotlight. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I am excited to have this conversation. So if you would you tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do? Like, tell me everything in the next 2 minutes.
All right, will do. Thank you again for having me. My name is Angela Hollowell. I'm the owner of Angie Studio, and I host a podcast called Honey and Hustle. I'm based here in Durham, but I'm originally from Alabama, so still learning my way around the Bull City a little bit, but it's been a fun ride.
I love it. Wait, so what was the name of the podcast? Tell me more about that.
So Honey and Hustle is a video podcast that really is just featuring conversations with creative entrepreneurs, small business owners, people who are in startups right now, who have kind of been in the field for a little bit and have some expertise that they can share with people who are either looking to start a business, just starting a business and kind of want a little bit more expertise or just kind of insights into things they may be thinking about currently, but just don't have anybody they can talk with those things about. And I guess the idea behind it was just really to help people find solutions within their business and things that they can apply to how they conduct business.
Okay, I like that. So you're an expert in digital storytelling. Your podcast, how do those two things link together? Your podcast is a video podcast, is that right?
It is, yeah. So I originally started just doing photography. So when I was in college, I went to Spain for a semester, got back, my phone reset itself. I lost every single one of those pictures, and I was like, this is never happening again. So I worked for the summer, spent the check on a camera, haven't looked back since. So that's been an amazing ride. And as DSLRs and tech, they just continue to progress, doing videography is just more accessible. And I wanted to kind of dive into that from a documentary kind of storytelling aspect. When I went to get my master's in human rights, that was just something that I really wanted to dive into more, to tell these stories of people who may not always have a platform to have their voice heard. So.
Okay, I love that. And so with your experience in digital storytelling and marketing, what do you think is the biggest struggle that people have or organizations have right now in that capacity with telling their story, with reaching their audience? What do you find is a pretty big struggle they have right now, and what's maybe your solution for it?
Yeah, so I think especially now with the pandemic, people are looking to market themselves more exclusively online, because being in person and doing events, that's just really not an option anymore. And so one of the biggest struggles I think that people are starting to find is finding their messaging, right? So marketing isn't about finding this like clever thing. What can I say to make people want to buy with me, work with me, shop with me, whatever. It's really about connecting with people and using your message to resonate with your potential audience and your potential customers, clients, what have you. And so I think that's a really big struggle for people, because they maybe they'll do a personal branding photo session and they're like, okay, I have 10 great images, but once these images run out, I'm done with content. And that's really not the case. There's so much more to your story than 10 images. Those are a start, but they're not everything. And I would say that a lot of what I do when I work with nonprofits is centering that messaging, yes, on yourself, but also on the people that you want to work with and the people that are being affected by your work or by your product, and making it a client-focused messaging system that resonates both with you and with them. Because when you have that connection, it's going to be effortless. You don't have to try to think of what is this clever thing I got to say, or what is this thing that's going to get engagement, right? You just be yourself.
Yeah, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned nonprofits. Is that who you work most with, or who are your clients, or who are you looking to connect with through this video? Who do you feel you can best help along their journey and what they're doing with their marketing efforts?
Yeah, so lately I've been working with nonprofits here in Durham, doing some photo and video work and social media strategy work on the digital media consulting side. Just kind of helping them use their message through photo and video content to reach their audience and to spark action. I mean, that's what nonprofits are all about. They're all about getting people to action, getting people to support a cause. And so that's what I've been doing lately. So I would love to connect with other nonprofit owners, people in the nonprofit sector who would be potentially looking for that or just want to talk about how they can incorporate photography and videography into their current social media strategy. Those would be really great connects. And of course, the podcast. I would love to connect with anybody who wants to share their expertise with other small business owners and creative entrepreneurs.
I am certain there are people watching right now that would love to explore your podcast and being part of that. So I appreciate you offering that up. I think that that is a fantastic opportunity for people with, you've given some really great information in a short amount of time. If you had to say one thing that the people watching could focus on to improve their digital storytelling, what would be one tip you would give them?
One tip is just be authentic. Be yourself. If you're not doing so great right now, be vulnerable. People are going to connect with that vulnerability because they're probably also experiencing that. And maybe you're voicing things that they don't have the opportunity to voice. If you're doing great right now, tell them why you're doing great. Tell them about what led you to that moment. If you have something new that you want to offer, tell them why you wanted to do this new thing. Tell them the inspiration behind that. People love to be taken behind the scenes and into your process and into your world. So all of these things encompass who you are and what you're doing right now in this moment. So definitely take that and use that to your advantage when you're marketing yourself online.
Oh, that's such good advice. Such good advice. Thank you for that. So if we've got our viewers, somebody's in the nonprofit space, or there's a small business owner, or somebody that thinks that that they want to communicate with you, they want to see if you can help them with their messaging, with their business, or want to talk about the podcast, or just somebody in general is watching this and they want to connect with you, what do they do to take the next steps? What's the best way to connect with you, and how do they set up maybe a one-on-one time?
Yeah, so the best way to connect with me online at www.angiestudio.com, or you can connect with me on any social media at Angie Studio, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, not TikTok, but yeah, just about any social media at Angie Studio. And my website has a Calendly link, so just pick a time in my schedule, and I would love to schedule a call with you.
Are you on MySpace?
I used to be, but that got outlawed.
I won't connect with you on MySpace. All right. Is there anything else that you want to share that you think we missed? I think this has been super helpful. It has been for me. I'm sure it has been for our audience. Anything that we missed?
No, just thank you so much for having me, and shout out to Raleigh Young Professionals for being awesome and kicking ass out here.
I love that. Thank you all to those of you checking out the video now. Again, if you want to connect, please reach out to Angela, connect with her. If you got questions, if you want to learn more about what she does on the professional level, on the podcast, and the social level, like hit her up, connect, take advantage of this opportunity we've given you right here. And I can't wait to bring you another Raleigh Young Professional member spotlight here real soon. So thanks, and we'll talk soon.